Okay folks, buckle up. Today on the Mysteria Archive we delve into the weird world of the glitch watchers. Get ready for a wild ride. You're walking down the street and just for a moment you feel it. No eyes, no cameras, just presence. The lights flicker. Your phone glitches. Time stutters just for a second. What if that wasn't random? What if someone or something was watching? Not governments, not aliens, but interdimensional observers. Some call them glitch watchers, entities from beyond our reality who only leave traces when something goes wrong. So, what if those little glitches you ignore are signs they're watching you? Alright, yeah, I know this sounds like sci-fi Mad Libs, but come on, we've all felt that weirdness, like your brain hiccups and the universe skips a beat. 1 second you're scrolling your phone, the next you're questioning the fabric of time because Spotify repeated the same song twice after you skipped it. Are we paranoid? Maybe. But is it weirder to think that reality is glitching or that someone is watching to see if we notice? Personally, I'm rooting for the benevolent cosmic interns theory. But if we're living in a giant Truman Show coded by Cthulhu, at least give me better lighting. Stick around because things are about to get a lot stranger. Glitch phenomena, when reality misfires. Let's start where things get weird, but still familiar. You look at the clock, 3:33 again, third time today. Then the light flickers above you. Your phone restarts without warning. You try to tech, and it autocorrects your message into nonsense. Not a tech issue, like the wrong version of your sentence showed up. Glitches, they're small, often subtle. And they always come with that uncanny feeling that something's off. Some people experience time loops, hearing a conversation they swear already happened. Others report walking into a room and seeing someone standing there until they blink, and the room is then empty. The thing is, these events don't happen in isolation. They're patterns. From strange GPS errors to TV static, showing images for a split second, then entire hours of memory just gone. Science explains these away as cognitive hiccups, digital bugs or coincidences. But what if that's only part of the story? What if glitches are like dropped pins, markers, clues that something on the other side of our reality just took notice? In video games, when NPCs start walking into a wall, it's a sign of code breaking down. What if that flickering light or that burst of static is our version of a glitch wall? Not a malfunction, but a peek behind the curtain. And every now and then, someone sees too much. You ever get that moment where the world feels just a little fake? A second too perfect or too imperfect? Some people write it off. Others believe these aren't mistakes, they're observations in progress. The world didn't break, it paused to watch you react. Okay, let's just admit it. We've all had at least one of those did the simulation just stutter moments. Now, for me, it's clocks, always with the repeating numbers. 3:33, 11:11. At this point, I'm just waiting for 6:66, which I know is not a thing yet. And sure, your phone glitching might just mean you need a new phone. Or maybe Tim Cook is just bad at hiding evidence of multiversal surveillance. Who knows? But honestly, if reality is the simulation, then we are the NPCs watching other NPCs glitch while pretending we're not glitched ones at all, which is very comforting. Anyway, whether it's spiritual, technological, or just that one fluorescent bulb you keep forgetting to fix, glitches make us pause, and maybe that's the point. The Watcher Theory, beyond aliens, beyond AI. Forget everything you know about aliens in saucers or rogue AIs taking over the grid. What if we're being watched by something far stranger, glitch watchers? According to this Fringe theory, these aren't physical beings at all. They are interdimensional. Outside of space, outside of time. Think of them as cosmic archivists, or the IT department for the simulation we call reality. They don't arrive like spacecraft do. They manifest as anomalies, a time hiccup, a sequence of impossible coincidences, a cause that shows up after its effect. Some theorists believe glitches, those little stutters in reality, are actually their footprints. Not mistakes, but moments where our reality brushes up against theirs. But here's where things get creepier. People who've experienced these glitches often report physical sensations right before they happen. Like their body knows something is off, cold shivers, sudden dizziness, nausea. That uncanny sense of being watched with no source in sight. It's been described as the observer effect, but not the quantum physics version. This one is much more primal. Like how animals freeze when a predator's nearby. Only in this case, you are the experiment. Quote from one experiencer. I was walking home. Everything looked normal, but wrong. My head throbbed, my skin prickled. Then my watch skipped 2 hours ahead, I swear it. Science calls it coincidence. Skeptics call it delusion. But those who believe, they say, you don't see them, but your body knows when you're not alone. Okay, so we've gone from aliens are watching us to reality itself watching us. Fantastic. Just what my anxiety needed. But seriously, this body as an antenna idea, I've had that moment. Lights flicker, phone screen spazzes out. I blame the power grid. But now I'm wondering, was it the watcher Wi-Fi dropping in? The weird part is how common this is. Everyone has a story. I felt sick right before something weird happened. We chalk it up to coincidence, but maybe your brain is smarter than your reality. Still, if these entities are real, I hope they're at least taking notes. Because if I'm getting observed mid-snack run in sweatpants, I want some royalties. Okay, let's dig even deeper. Turns out, this watcher idea is not new at all. Folklore, religion, and eyes from the void. The concept of beings who observe us from beyond the veil isn't New Age internet speculation. It's ancient, embedded in myths, religious texts, and folklore from every corner of the world. Let's start with the Book of Enoch, an ancient Hebrew text not included in the Standard Bible. In it, watchers are angels sent to observe humanity, but they go rogue, descend to earth, and meddle with human affairs. Sound familiar? Fast forward to Lovecraft. His great old ones aren't just monsters, they're cosmic entities who exist beyond comprehension. They don't attack so much as they observe. Just noticing them can drive you insane. And it's not just Western tradition. In indigenous North American stories, there are sky beings who silently watch from above, never intervening, just observing. Some South American tribes speak of spirits that dwell underground, surfacing only to keep an eye on human behavior. Tibetan Buddhists also talk about enlightened beings watching humanity's progress from parallel dimensions, the same ones said to live in the mystical kingdom of Shambhala. Across cultures and eras, one pattern emerges: beings who aren't gods, aren't demons, but exist to observe. They don't help, they don't harm, they simply watch. So, maybe this glitch watcher theory isn't a new idea at all, just an updated version of an ancient archetype. The same watchers, just wearing different masks. Could the glitches be how they slip through? When reality hiccups, is it just a bad line of code, or the moment something brushes against the world and leaves a fingerprint behind? Okay, confession. I thought watchers were just those background characters in Marvel movies, but turns out ancient humans were already into this. I mean, think about it. Cultures separated by oceans and millennia all came up with the same idea. Someone is watching, and they don't blink. Are they protectors, creepers, cosmic interns with clipboards? Or maybe humanity just needs this idea. But even when we're alone, especially when we're alone, something's paying attention. Either way, the consistency is spooky. If I see one more pair of glowing eyes in a cave painting, I'm out. Okay, next up, things start looping, like reality hitting repeat without warning. And that's when things really get weird. Time loops and recurring events. Ever had a moment that felt recycled? You walk into a room and hear someone say something, and your brain whispers, wait, didn't that already happen? But not in a deja vu sense, more like the exact same scene reloaded. Some people swear they've lived the same hour twice, heard the same radio host make the same joke days apart, got the same text message from the same person on different days, word for word. Glitches? Sure, but what if it's something else? Some theories suggest these are signs of surveillance loops, moments where time buffers, rewinds, or stutters so something can watch. Now, not you in general, but your reaction to something unexpected. Like rewinding a scene in a movie just to study facial expressions. Now, take that idea into dreams. People report dreams that repeat, or restart, or feel shared with others. And in those dreams, strange symbols, unknown rooms, beings that just observe. There are plenty of stories of people who, before falling asleep, asked big metaphysical questions about death, purpose, or the nature of reality itself, and then dreamt of being in a blank room, watched by someone behind a mirror. A simulation overload theory suggests that sleep is when the system runs updates, when memory syncs, glitches are repaired and anomalies are reviewed. So, if dreams are more than dreams, what else happens when we're unconscious? Could these watchers be using dream space to interact directly, unfiltered by physical reality? Or worse, could the questions we ask while awake be flagging us for observation? Because sometimes, right after someone wonders aloud, "Is this all real?" that's when the streetlights blink, the song skips, the day repeats. And maybe that's not a coincidence. All right, if I dream of a clipboard-wielding cosmic auditor tonight, I'm blaming this section. But seriously, this idea that reality might rewind itself, that's both cool and mildly horrifying. I mean, I've rewatched movies to catch a reaction. What if something's doing that to us? And don't get me started on dreams. One time I had a dream I was being interviewed by shadow people. They weren't mean, they just took notes, like a Yelp review for my soul. Look, maybe sleep is just sleep. Maybe the loop is just your brain firing weird, but what if it's not? Next up, surveillance that doesn't use satellites, cameras, or microphones, just the universe itself. Surveillance without technology. We're used to surveillance meaning cameras, satellites, and smart speakers that listen too well. But what if none of that is necessary? Some theories suggest that glitch watchers don't need tech because they are the system, or at least part of it. Imagine a reality that's self-aware enough to watch itself, to adapt when you start noticing patterns, not through bugs, but through breadcrumbs, deliberate glitches that trigger you to look deeper. Flickering lights, synchronized numbers, that feeling when your thoughts are so loud the world responds. Now here's the twist. Some believe the watchers aren't studying us in general, they're studying how we react emotionally to these glitches. Did you freeze in fear? Did you laugh it off? Did you share it online? Because those reactions, they're data. Some fringe theorists go a step further. They claim that high emotion events like grief, anger, or awe are when the most glitches occur. And not because the emotion causes the glitch, but because it attracts observation. It's as if reality pokes when you're already vulnerable, testing how deep you're paying attention. There's even a saying in those circles, the simulation doesn't correct the glitch until you notice it. Which raises a spooky possibility. Maybe reality is not just passively running. Maybe it has protocols. Maybe it knows when you're seeing through the cracks and shifts in response. Not with malice, just interest. Surveillance without tools, feedback loops disguised as random chance. Next time your playlist starts playing a song that matches your exact mood, or you get a weird ping from nowhere, maybe it's not coincidence. Maybe it's contact. Look, I talk to myself in grocery stores all the time. If reality's been listening in this whole time, I deeply apologize for that cereal aisle rant. Look, but in all honesty, this idea is chilling. No spy satellites, no drones, just a world that watches. It's like being inside a video game that's updating itself based on your vibe. And the theory that glitches only get patched once you notice them, that one stuck with me. It's like playing peekaboo with the Matrix. Also, if these watchers are out there collecting emotion data, I hope they enjoy my stress-induced snack runs at 3 AM existential crisis coming up. Can real science back up any of this? Or are we just glitching our way into philosophy class? Real science meets the fringe. All right, let's take a deep breath and bring in the grown-ups, science. Because for all this talk of interdimensional watchers and simulation glitches, there are actual scientific phenomena that echo these strange experiences. Not proof, but weirdly aligned. Now let's start with the observer effect in quantum physics. At a quantum level, particles behave differently when they're being observed, literally. Electrons shift from acting like waves to acting like particles the moment we watch them. It's not just spooky, it's foundational physics. Now, zoom out. Could our macro reality behave the same way? Do things shift when someone or something observes? Then there's simulation theory. It's not just science fiction anymore. Serious thinkers like Nick Bostrom suggest that if civilizations become advanced enough, running ancestor simulations like highly detailed versions of our history could be inevitable. And if they're inevitable, odds are we're in one now. Now, combine the two ideas. If we're in a simulation and observing something changes its outcome, then anomalies, glitches, might be the system adapting to our awareness, a sort of debugging process triggered by curiosity. Now, some researchers even suggest consciousness itself might be the wildcard. that our perception isn't just passive but active, altering reality on the fly. In other words, the more you question reality, the more reality bends. It's not hard science, but it is a legitimate philosophical rabbit hole. So, maybe the glitch watchers aren't aliens or spirits. Maybe they're the echoes of the system watching itself. A recursive loop of observation where asking, "Am I being watched?" becomes the very thing that trips the sensor. Because, in a reality this complex, maybe curiosity is the glitch. Okay, I'll admit it, the observer effect kind of breaks my brain. Like particles act differently just because they know we're watching. Are we sure electrons aren't just dramatic? And simulation theory, man, that is the black hole of dinner party conversations. Pass the salt. Oh, and what if we're digital ghosts in a post-human video game? But jokes aside, this is where things get really juicy, not because it proves anything, but because real science doesn't totally slam the door shut. If watching changes reality, and reality might be code, then maybe glitches aren't flaws, maybe they're feedback. Now, let's head into our final section, because if someone's watching, then the only real question is why. What if they're still watching? So, let's say, for argument's sake, the glitch watchers are real. They don't need chips, they don't need cameras, maybe they don't even need bodies. They just observe, silently, constantly, from outside whatever this is. And maybe the glitches we see, repeating numbers, timeline loops, that weird static burst on your phone when nothing's open, are not just tech bugs. They're pings, beacons, signals. Now, here's the kicker. Some people report memory desyncs. They'll swear they had a conversation that no one else remembers, or they'll forget part of the day with no explanation. It's like reality skipped or was rewritten. Fringe theorists call this rollback, a kind of soft reset triggered by the watchers. Like something didn't go quite as expected, so the system had to try again. But the traces still linger. Sound familiar? It's here we can briefly nod to the Mandela Effect, those mass memory inconsistencies that people swear are signs of jumped timelines. We won't dwell, but this is part of the same pattern, reality almost lining up, but not quite. So, what do the watchers want? Well, some believe they're passive, just studying us, the way we'd study ants in a digital ant farm. Others think they're curators of reality, adjusting the simulation to keep it stable, quietly course-correcting when we get too close to uncomfortable truths. And then there's the unsettling idea that they're waiting, not for us to discover them, but to evolve, to become self-aware enough to be worth contacting or confronting. Because maybe we're not just in a simulation, maybe we're the experiment. And if you felt something watching lately, maybe it's not paranoia. Maybe you're right. All right, time to put a tinfoil hat on the dog, because this section goes deep. The rollback theory? That's wild. But I have had moments where I blank on entire parts of the day and think, did I get patched like a video game character? And the idea that glitches are like breadcrumbs from a reality testing us. That hits different, like life's playing chess and we're still figuring out the rules. Look, I'm not saying we're being watched by cosmic IT guys in another dimension, but I am saying if reality feels weird, well, maybe it is. And if someone's on the other side of that glitchy mirror, they've already seen this episode. So if you notice something glitched today, maybe it wasn't coincidence. Maybe it was the watchers checking in. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Now, please let me know in the comments below what videos you'd like to see next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. It's free and it really helps out our small channel. Okay, friends, until next time, stay curious.